Hey guys, it's Jeff, and today Apple did in fact release iOS 13.3 Developer Beta 2, and the update size does lead me to believe that this is going to be a kind of like smaller or not so significant update. The update size was around 290 some megabytes for my iPhone 11 Pro Max, so not a very big update, but hopefully we do see some changes within Beta 2 here. Now, if you're a public beta tester and you were kind of wondering when this update will come to your devices, look for it later today or early morning tomorrow around the same time that the second developer beta came to us developers today around like 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So definitely don't be alarmed if you are not getting the update because you are likely on the public beta build. But nevertheless, let's go ahead, take a look at Beta 2 here on our device. Let's check for any new features and changes. And of course, we'll follow up with speed and performance updates later on in the video. So definitely stay tuned for those as well. Okay guys, so we have iOS 13.3 Developer Beta 2 loaded up on our device here. Let's go to the About screen and check out what's new for this page here. The total update size for me, as I said before, was 295.9 megabytes. So a fairly smaller update on the side of iOS updates for like major updates like iOS 13.1, 13.2 for the second beta, but nevertheless we still have this release here, and the build number for this release is 17C5038A. So that does indicate that we are running kind of like a more stable build here with that A at the end. So this is definitely not going to cause too many issues with user performance. Now let's go down here into the About screen and check out the modem firmware. It has been changed. So previously it was 1.03.04 and now we have 1.03.09. So a very small change to the modem firmware, but overall a pretty still large one here, going from iOS 13.2.2 to iOS 13.3 beta. So do check that out if you're having any LTE speed issues or maybe connection issues. Those will likely be resolving those issues. Now, very quickly, a change in the settings menu. If you go to accessibility, then go down to the AirPods menu, we did see that the press and hold duration and press speed kind of were a new menu option last time. But for me, at least, I wasn't seeing the noise control portion of this menu where you can actually control noise cancellation with just one AirPod. So if you just want to have one AirPod in your ear, you can actually have noise cancellation in just that one ear. So for some people that is super important, for others it's not, but that is an option now with the AirPods Pro. Also in the settings app specific to the AirPods Pro, if you go into the AirPods menu via the Bluetooth app, there's a fit test, and previously this fit test kind of was a little bit hard to understand, but now they have actually revised this fit test to be a little bit more understandable and easier for the end user. So the fit test has been revised here, and it actually works pretty well. Everything is pretty solid with this fit test. Basically, it uses the microphones on the outside and uses noise cancellation and sees if anything is getting through, like any sound is getting through for the specific ear tips that you're using. So definitely check that out if you have the AirPods Pro. That will kind of increase your experience or better your experience using the AirPods Pro. Also, another change related to the AirPods Pro is they show up properly on Find My. Some people were experiencing this in Beta 1, but I have yet to experience that on Beta 1. I just now experienced the proper icons now on Beta 2 for Find My. And also in the Find My application, the sound works for playing a sound on your AirPods Pro devices. So essentially this wasn't really working before. It wouldn't really go through, but now in Beta 2, the sound, playing a sound or a specific sound works on both the left and right earphones, and works if they are in the case as well. So definitely check that out if you have any worries about losing your AirPods. This is a great way to find them should you not be able to find them, and they play a pretty loud sound through the AirPods themselves. Another thing that I did notice is that the 3D touch has actually been improved from beta 1 in kind of like the latter half of yesterday's or last week's video featuring beta 1. I noticed that the 3D touch was just a tad bit slow. Even going to like menus like the control center, it just wasn't working that fast, and it was really disappointing. But now in beta 2, Apple seems to have fixed this issue. It's working just a little bit faster here in beta 2. I would like to see just a little bit more speed here in the coming betas, but at least that kind of bug that we were experiencing before has now been fixed, and everything is working totally fine here. Another thing that you guys might be noticing here in beta 2 of iOS 13.3 is that the camera operation is working a lot faster, changing from 4K to HD, a lot faster, changing all the different frame rates. Definitely is a lot faster now. So if you want to use your device for a quick camera operation, this is actually going to work very well, and I'm really pleased with kind of like the updates to speed here that Apple has made specific to the camera app, because the camera app hasn't always necessarily been the fastest application from Apple, and it kind of ruined some shots that we were trying to get earlier on in the iOS 13 lifecycle specific to the iPhone 11 Pro. So now you're able to change all these operations fairly quickly now, and everything is working very, very smoothly. So definitely check that out if you have a newer device and you're switching a lot of the settings and everything like that. They're working a lot faster here on beta 2 of iOS 13.3. Okay guys, so obviously very few changes here, a lot going to the AirPod Pro devices just to get that all shored up here within the iOS 13.3 updates, but not necessarily a kind of lackluster update here, simply because we're getting a lot of speed and performance improvements here in beta 2. And as I said before, the build number does indicate that we're going to be seeing a lot more smooth of an experience here on beta 2. So yeah, speed and performance is definitely on the rise. For the CPU and GPU, we actually are seeing scores that are kind of pushing the limits here of the A13 Bionic chip, and definitely yielding some way higher results than what we were seeing in beta 1. So we saw about a 5 to 7% increase in performance over iOS 13.2.2, and that is pretty significant here that we're only seeing that performance gains through a software update. Now this is specific to the iPhone 11 Pro Max, but we did in fact do a test on the iPhone 8 Plus, and we only saw about a 1 to 2% increase in performance, almost within the margin of error. So it looks like Apple is definitely focusing on the newer devices here for speed and performance, and can't really do anything much with the older devices and the chips in those devices, in correlation with iOS 13. Now, as far as the GPU performance goes, and kind of seeing exactly how that plays out in actual use performance, we're actually seeing a lot more smoother UI. Everything is of course very, very fast, but I feel like everything's working just a little bit more smoothly. The animations are a little bit smoother, app loading is smoother, and just going throughout some of the apps, especially Apple apps, it's working a lot smoother here. Now, one thing you definitely want to look out for is app loading speed. I've noticed that my app loading speed for apps that have been developed for iOS 13 and kind of updated for the next generation of iOS here, we're actually seeing very, very quick app loading speeds. So everything is going to be working a lot faster on that end, and that will definitely kind of increase your performance on your phone, so that you can essentially go through things a lot faster. So definitely performance bumps there, or performance gains seen through app loading, and I'm really happy to see that. Now, as far as battery performance goes, that is always a big topic when it comes to iOS updates, and battery performance was within the margin of error. So we're not seeing necessarily a decrease nor an increase. Everything is pretty much the same as what we were seeing in beta 1. But as I said last time, beta 1 wasn't really an increase over iOS 13.3 or 13.2.2. So we're not really seeing any performance gains over the official update that just came to us last week. So if you guys are wondering, that leads me into my next topic of if you should be updating updating. If you have AirPods Pro and you want to get kind of like the updates for this device in iOS 13.3, definitely go ahead and update. You can check out Beta 1, that video that we released, check out all the new features and changes there. And if you necessarily want to have those changes, definitely go ahead and update. But if you don't have any bugs at all and you are kind of having a good experience on the version that you have on your device now, I definitely wouldn't recommend updating, just because the betas could potentially cause you issues if you update. So yeah, guys, I hope that answers your question as far as updating. But so far, I'm having a great experience on iOS 13.3, and if you want to go ahead and see all the new features and changes, be my guest. The update will be available for public beta testers for beta 2 tomorrow. So guys, that was iOS 13.3 beta 2, developer beta 2. I know it's not really the best update that we've gotten in these betas, but definitely a significant one as we're progressing here towards an official release that will likely come next year. So maybe we're going to see a lot of things happening in between now and then. So guys, thank you for watching this video on iOS 13.3 developer beta 2. If you want to stay up to date with all the latest and greatest with iOS, definitely go ahead, leave a like on this video. Also get subscribed and hit that notification bell button, because that will give you updates as soon as we release any content on our channel. So again, guys, thank you all for watching, and hopefully I'll be catching you guys in some upcoming content. Peace.